Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about all the books that I read in February. I'm recording this and it's still not March. I'm still reading 2 books, Communion and Lord of Secrets. I've been a mess at reading physically, so I'm still making my way through them. But the rest I have finished. And it's been such a shitty month, I'm not going to lie. They were all like, okay. I didn't give any book 5 stars, I believe. So it was sad. It was pretty sad. So in February, I read a total of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15.
I think 17 books. I also need to finish Batman and Psychology, which is a book that I've been listening to from time to time. You know, when I'm doing something that needs my attention, I just have that in the background and it's been quite nice. But let's just get started with the books. So as always, we're going to start with the book that I read first, making my way to the book that I read last. And let me tell you something, I started the month great because I read Unsouled by Will White. I'm sorry for the glare. All the self-published books are really glowy for some reason. By the way, this was also the month that I got only self-published books on my TBR, so a lot of these books are going to be self-published. But this was my favorite book of the month. Basically, I had a great time. I kind of laugh at some jokes, so it's not something that really happens to me. I don't really love some humor in books. I'm a monster like that. This was amazing. Seriously, it was such a fun ride. I have already bought the sequel. 100% reading in March, even if it's not on my TBR, I will read it 100% because they are super short and I really want to get to it, so I'll read it. But the magic was great. I loved the display of magic towards the end. At the beginning, because our main character is an Unsouled, we didn't have that much magic, but then it all exploded and it was amazing. Let me tell you something, it was so cool. Like, man, I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was such a fun ride. Yes, we are trying to speedrun this wrap-up because it's going to be so long. Basically, when we start the book, we follow our main character and he is branded an Unsouled, meaning that he doesn't have the affinity of his clan magic, basically, so he is forbidden to perform any type of magic related to that. So he basically has to make his way around everything. He's really smart. I really like that he doesn't get like anything handed to him, which is something that I really enjoy in this type of books. And I can see the similarities with sufficiently advanced magic so clearly. It's just amazing. I gave this one 4 stars. There's still a lot of, room for improvement, but I love this book. This was my favorite book of the month. Probably the only book that I actually kind of want to say like I love it. Yeah, amazing. Try this series. It's so cool. This one I really enjoyed also, but I didn't love it. This is Blackstone Heart by Michael R. Fletcher. There's another book by him coming because I also read another one of his series. This is a dark fantasy and it's pretty grim dark. Sometimes you're told like, yeah, this is dark fantasy and the world is not that hard. Like, it's not that bad. But this, it has everything, everything that's shitty you have in this world. The thing that I loved the most was the magic. Probably we have necromancers here and it was super cool. I also quite enjoyed the main character. It wasn't the book that I was expecting. It took a turn. I don't know why, but I thought that he was just there picking the pieces of his heart. Oh, that took a while. I thought that he was just going to get those pieces and he was in another world, but he is actually in the real world. Not in our world, but the world that they have. And there are kind of other versions of him out there too, with each one with their own piece of Blackstone heart. And that was fascinating. It's not a spoiler, don't worry. It's told very fairly in the beginning of the book. I was blown away by that because I wasn't expecting that, so careful. That's what I'm telling you. It's not exactly the story that you thought. And I really enjoyed it. But there's also always, you know what? You know that every time you talk to YA fantasies, they're like, yeah, YA is just like for teenage girls. You have your main character who is completely normal, ordinary, but we have these 2 guys fighting for her. Like your stereotypical YA. Grimdark is the same but for adult males, because we always have this main character who is courageous at least, and he always has every single woman wanting to fuck with him, basically. The same. It's the same. You know what? I enjoyed it either way, so we're fine. I give this one also 4 stars. I don't know which one I like the most, if this one or the other series by the same author, but this ending was amazing. I have already pre-ordered the sequel because I really want to read that. Like, the ending was so well done. So well done. And there are also demons. And he has like a demon companion for a while. I don't want to go into spoilers. And that character, my favorite one. He fucking gets it. He's fucking amazing. I loved him. So then I read a zombie book. I read Wasteland, which is book 2 in Surviving the Aftermath. The Evacuation. God damn it. The Aftermath is the game that I've been playing. The Evacuation. Holy shit. Surviving the Evacuation. I don't remember the name of the author right now, but you will be seeing it because I have this book on Kindle and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was like the great zombie book. You know, the zombies are starting to get dangerous. It's still kind of in a diary form, and now different characters can write in the journal that he has, so we also get their perspectives, but only because they are writing in the book. So we don't get anything apart from that, and that works great. The thing that I didn't realize was that actually the main character that we follow here, we only follow for the first 3 books. This is a super long series, but apparently it's trilogy after trilogy after trilogy, and in each trilogy you follow one character. I didn't know that. So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to read this one because I still have like 9 books to read in this series following the same main character. But no. And it's sad because I actually really like him. I think he's a great, likable main character. And I'm going to miss him if he doesn't appear in book 4. I really hope he doesn't die in book 3. Like, please. Overall, I enjoyed it. Basically, in the first one, the premise was, you know, zombie apocalypse. He was supposed to get rescued because he basically kind of worked with the government to just get all these camps and everything working. But he actually breaks his leg. He's stuck in his home. Chauffeur tries to get to him, but gets bitten, transforms, and he's stuck in his house with his broken leg. And it's also quite interesting for a premise. Like, you know what, we always get this main character who's able to do anything in zombie movies, video games, whatever you want. This one was like a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed the first one. I loved the first one more than this one, but this one was faster. So, you know, you have like those type of things. I would highly recommend it if you just want like a mindless read. It was great. Then I didn't know that Courtney Summers, the author of Sadie, was coming out with a new book. But my friend Chelsea at Chelsea Chow read this like the moment it got out and really loved it. And it was about cults. And I love to read about cults. I love it. Like in real life also, I'm just like obsessed with that. It's just, it always caught my eye, you know, I can't help it. But, you know, she was just like, it's really good. Try it. And I got it from Script and it was actually really good. I didn't love it. Some of the twists were really easy, you know. And you're following a cult, so you know, is a cult really going to be good? It's a cult, like, you know. Still, overall, really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did like Sadie more, but the ending of this one was also pretty powerful. I still really like the other one better though. But overall, I quite enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I listened to it pretty fast. I think that the best part was probably the beginning. In the middle, it dragged a little bit for me. It was a great representation of what a cult does to you, like psychologically. Great representation of that. So yeah, overall 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend if you want like mystery type of read. And with cults. Cults are always nice. Then the other book by Michael Fletcher was Smoke and Stone, which is the first book on another series that he has. And I bought this book because apparently the gods have a pretty prevalent role here, and they have and they don't. It's really weird, you know, it's weird. But again, this is dark fantasy. I wouldn't say that this one is grim dark. I would say that it's more dark than grim dark, you know. It's not that desperate. Like it doesn't have that same like darkness that Blackstone Heart had. So I'm leaning more towards dark fantasy, but you're welcome to disagree. So in this one we follow two main POVs, and one of them is the one that makes most of the magic basically. He's a priest and they live in this city that is made, you know, the the different walls that we have in Attack on Titan. Well, here's the same. Same, like divided between wards, but it's centric. You know, I like that from the get-go. It was so good. But we follow this priest. It's really weird because he is tasked with getting into one of the outer rings for saying something and find this mysterious entity that is out there. And he gets these visions from his god, and he basically has to find her. Then the other POV that we follow is this woman, and she is also getting visions, but we don't know from which god. And they are both kind of connected, but we don't know if they're fighting each other, if they just are going to help each other. It's weird. It's weird, but I really like that dynamic because both of them get the visions and both of them are just like, I'm doing the right thing. Like it always is, but it was done perfectly. I really enjoyed that. So having said that, the ending wasn't as powerful as the one from Blackstone Heart, but I still really liked it. In fact, I have already bought the sequel and it's on its way here because I really enjoyed it. I think that Michael R. Fletcher is going to be one of those authors that I just really enjoy in general, and I will continue to read his works. I think that he also has like another series apart from this too. I'm more intrigued by that one. Still, the world here was super cool. It's kind of inspired also by kind of Egypt. It gave me that vibe because there's a lot of desert all the time. Actually, we are set on kind of the last city because it was a war between the gods, and the ones that win basically are worshipped in the city, and the other ones are out there in the sands, and like it's super dangerous to go out. You're never supposed to go out. It's just super cool. It's just super cool. I really enjoyed it. So again, give this one 4 stars. Yes, this was the month of 4 and 3 stars. Like there's nothing else. I'm sorry. Then I read this one, and I'm not going to lie, before I show it to you, I was pretty disappointed on it. Sad. But this is Sons of Insurrection by J.C. Can. And man, I don't know why, but I thought that it was adult because I usually buy adult books. I don't know why I just immediately thought this was adult, and if this is categorized as adult, no. I got a lot of notes for this book, like, whew. First, let me tell you something right at the bat. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. Problem is, one of the characters is fucking insufferable. And it's sad because she's kind of one of the most important characters of the book. So she gets a lot of chapters, but she's so insufferable. Oh my god. Still, the world in magic is so interesting, but this character is so fucking insufferable. Like she's literally a teenage girl, like badly made teenage girl, full with angst. And oh my god, thank God that the prince saw something in me. Like, thanks to him, I can now shine. And it's just like, no, that's not the way, girl. That's not how it works. But, a ver. I go to Spanish, yeah. Oh, holy shit. We follow several points of view. And the one that I didn't like was Kaya, basically. She's a princess. She's a princess. No one really likes her because, you know, she's ordinary and plain looking. So no one gives a fuck about her. But she can play music. That's her, like, knack. That's her talent. One day this prince arrives. He's asking for help, basically, because his country is kind of being invaded. And he's just like, you know what? Help me, emperor, help. And the Emperor's just like, I don't give a fuck, just send the girl, because that's meant as an insult. And you say, the thing is, at the moment she gets there, she's just like, oh, he's so perfect, he's so beautiful, he's, oh my god, he's incredible. And that is like that throughout the whole book. Every time the fucking prince shows up or she's thinking about him, she's just like, oh my god, he's so perfect, he's so perfect. Sometimes I just wanted to skim her chapters, but I couldn't do that because her chapters are one of the most important chapters, and it's so fucking annoying. Like, oh damn. She's the one that learns kind of the music of the gods here, so it's really hard to miss her chapters. Like, they're necessary, they are there for a reason. Then we have Gia, which is kind of an assassin, spy, whatever the fuck you want, and she's fucking great. And she doesn't get the same amount of chapters, or at least it didn't feel like it. But she's so much better, like, holy shit. I wish we only had like her POV and the other ones and not Kaya. I would rather read from the perspective of the prince, really. Like, oh man. I really want to talk spoilers about this book with someone, so please, if you have read this, let me know. I want to DM you and ask you for something. Maybe it will change my opinion of the book if we are on an agreement. But yeah, the best things: cool use of music, cool use of magic, political intrigue. There was a lot of political intrigue in this book, and I really love that. There's a lot of maneuvering behind the scenes. Really like that. The strongest points of this book. Sadly, there's kind of no explanation for the magic system. It's just like there. I guess that we will get more of that in later books. But the insta-love was terrible, and it really tainted my experience with the book. So I'm giving it 3 stars. I think about continuing with the series. I'll think about it. I don't know if I will, if I'm being honest. Maybe if there's not that much insta-love in the next installments, I'll do it. But I don't know. Then I finished Orange City, which I'm not going to talk about. I'm just going to tell you that I gave it 3.5 stars. It's a sci-fi dystopia, and I have already talked about this one in this video. Is it in that corner? Yeah, I think so. I talked about that one there, so let's just keep going. Then, as I told you on my whole, I almost dropped every single book. I read Geo by Yunji Ito. This is basically about mutant fish coming out of the fucking ocean. Like, yeah. It was pretty fucking disgusting, and I loved that. Yeah, it was really good. But you see, the thing is, there's not that much plot. Mutant fish will only get you like somewhere. There's not much beyond that. It ended so abruptly. I was just like, wait, there's still a lot of book left, but there were just like bonus stories. And I was like, wait, where's the rest of the book? So I don't know. Though the art was incredible. I loved the art. I think that it was the best part, and probably the reason that I gave it like almost 4 stars. It is fucking beautiful, the art. But yeah, not that much fun if I'm being honest. But the art is great. The art is great. I'm actually planning on continuing reading his works in general. So the next one I think that I'm going to read is not the one about the spirals. Not that one. One that he came out with last year about a planet that shows up, and it's kind of sci-fi horror. That one I really want to read. Then I get to a book that I really enjoyed this month. It's not the best book because that's Unsouled, but I really enjoyed this one. This is Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell. I thought I wasn't going to like it, if I'm being honest, because I thought it was about pirates. And it's not. There are pirates, but they're just like a minor thing. There's barely a time in the ocean. And I wasn't expecting that. I love this. So we basically follow 2 POVs. We have Ruka and we have Kale. And Kale is a prince, and Ruka is a deformed child who was supposed to be just killed at birth. But her mother was just like, no bitch, I'm taking this child, he's mine. And he has always been super bullied, and he's just, you know what? I'm going to take revenge on fucking everyone. His arc was the most interesting at the beginning, which is curious. Towards the end, I was actually more invested on Kale's story. Kale is a prince, and he's just like, I think it's the 4th son, so he's not really that important, but you know, he's still a prince, so he's important. They live in these islands away from the main kind of continent. They have these little islands, and in each island there's kind of a king, emperor, whatever you want to call it. Here's kind of the way that we get to see how the political maneuvering works in the islands, and that was really cool. He has a love story, which I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, it was fine. But his arc towards the end took a turn and was super cool. I was actually more invested on him in the end, when in the beginning I was just like, oh, can we get back to Ruka, please? I don't give a fuck about this guy. But yeah, it was really smartly constructed. Also, this is dark fantasy. It's not that dark. It's not that dark, but it's dark fantasy, you know? So be aware of that if you don't love that. The only thing that I think is going to appear more is the magic. There's barely any magic in here, a few chunks of it here and there, but I think there's going to be more in the next books. And I have also bought the sequel. I'm going to read it next month. It's on my TBR, Kings of Ash. I was super impressed by this book, actually. I thought I wasn't going to like it. I finished it in 3 days, and it's pretty big, you know. It's quite big and dense, but it was super interesting. And I have to say that I think that this was mostly like world building and, you know, setting everything in motion, and the rest is going to be really plot heavy. I have that feeling, and I think I'm not wrong. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out how their kind of POVs will not converge but collide. I ate that shit. It was amazing. But yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. It was like probably could be 4.5 if I'm being honest, but we're going to leave it at a 4. We're going to leave it at a 4 for now. Still super solid. If you're hesitating to read this one, don't do it. Try it. It's super good. We're never getting to the end. Holy shit. So then I read Skyward Inn by Elijah Whitley, which I have also reviewed individually, so I will link that here because I don't want to tell you the same things all over again. But this is also a sci-fi. This is a mix between Do You Dream of Terror 2 and Annihilation. I've really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Also, I thought I wasn't going to love it as much when I first started it. It was like a 3-star read, but then in the middle we have a twist and the ending was fucking amazing. So 4 stars it is. Then, because I wanted something like fun and short, I grabbed Horrorstor by Grady Hendrix, which was gifted to me by Monica, so thank you so much. I still have the gift card there. But you know what? I'm kind of in an obsession, in a constant obsession with Grady Hendrix. But this was this is so cool. You know, the best thing about this is just like it looks like a fucking IKEA catalog. That's the best thing about it. On the other hand, it's a pretty like nice horror story. I gave it a 3.5. It was mind-blowing, but it was fun enough. I read it in a day. Super nice. Most important thing, catalog. It looks amazing. We follow this girl who works in this store, 100% not IKEA. They basically have to stay the night because someone has been entering and vandalizing some furniture, basically. So of course something weird is going on at night, and we have ghosts and such and horror-y things. It's really fun, you know. I didn't love it, but it was solid enough. So then I read The Echo Wife by Sarah Galey. If you don't know who Sarah Galey is, she wrote one of the most underrated books of all time, which is Magic for Liars. For some reason, I saw this on Audible a month ago, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pre-order this. I have 1 credit. I'm going to get this. And I'm so happy I did. I read this book, well, I listened to it on a day. I was really invested. It's a story about clones. It's really weird. It has many like undertones to it, but mainly it's about clones. I follow our main character, and we discovered that she's a doctor. She's been basically studying about clones, and then we start to learn that her ex-husband is now getting married with someone else, and we're just like, what the hell? And then we discovered that he is getting married to a clone of her. What? But that's not where things end. Basically, was his name Daniel? For some reason in my mind is fucking Daniel his name. I don't know why. He dies. And now they are stuck with trying to figure out what to do, both of them, because of course making living clones of people is highly illegal anywhere. So yeah, it's a mess and I really enjoyed it. You know what? I'm actually thinking about getting a physical copy of this because I really liked it. It's been a while since I've read a book about clones. And it was really good overall. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I don't want to tell you much because, you know, it's kind of a sci-fi mystery thriller. So I'm going to leave it really vague. But damn, I liked it. Also, the ending was really nice. Like, it ended up so nice. So nice. It just, everything was so well wrapped up. Also, the process of cloning was amazing. There's some conditioning there. I'm just going to drop that. Whoa, that was so dark. That was so dark. Overall, it was fantastic. If you just want like a super fast sci-fi read, like sci-fi mystery, highly recommend this one. It's mostly kind of character driven, you know, but still super cool. We're getting to the last 4 books. So after The Echo Wife, I was in that like sci-fi mood. So I decided to grab The Gone World by Tom Sweeterlich, which is how the narrator of the other book said it. So I'm just saying it the same way. Many of you have recommended this book to me because I love, you know, 77 Hard Castle and really convoluted like mystery, sci-fi novels, and damn, this novel is impressive. I have to say that I didn't give it like full 5 stars because I was lost on some parts, so I had to just like get back a couple of pages and then start again. I had to do that like 3 or 4 times. So the extra work kills me. You know, I'm not here to do extra work. It's a pretty convoluted story, so careful with that. But overall, great. So let me tell you the premise first. We're going to follow Shannon, and she is dropped in this weird place, and she sees herself being like crucified, but then they rescue her, and she's just like, what the hell is going on? Apparently there's something in the future that is getting closer and closer, that is called the Terminus, where everything is going to end basically in Earth, and they are in this agency that is part of NCIS trying to stop it, basically. So they basically kind of send people to the future, try and figure out everything, and you know, to try and get like clues from the future, how to stop like bombings and terrorist attacks and all of that, and that's super cool. And the thing that I like the most about this is that we are set on time. So when the travelers travel, that's our current time, that's the present time. So they jump into the future. That timeline doesn't exist when they go back. It's not the future technically, it's another timeline, because when they get back, they're going to change things. So that timeline is no longer going to exist. It's really well explained, actually. I bought that. I am not one of these like, oh yeah, you go to the future, you know, blah, blah, blah. No. I love this idea. There's also people who know where the travelers are, and they are trying to stop them from going back, because the moment that they go back, the timeline stops existing, basically. That aspect integrated here, love it. The murder mystery, pretty meh. But the overall arc, I don't want to just, you know, tell you too much, because it's better to know nothing and be surprised. The overall arc was great. So then we are set in 1997, and Shannon is sent to this town to investigate the murder of the family of a Navy SEAL, and to find his missing daughter, basically. And everything goes from there. She's jumping to the future to get clues and such. Amazing. Another concept that I loved, the fact that because jumping so many times, and sometimes she stays in the future for years. She's actually older than she would be, you know. Each time that she jumps back, she's actually older. She is supposed to be like less than 30, and apparently she looks like she technically is 40. Like, I really like that. I gave this also 4 stars. It's kind of a more of a 4.5, but it was confusing as fuck sometimes. So I'm lowering it a bit because of the extra work. Still, thanks for the recommendation. It was amazing. Then I read 3 books that I was really highly anticipating. One of them was Priest of Bones by Peter Mclean. This is literally fucking Peaky Blinders. You cannot fool me. It's Peaky Blinders but with magic. Well, and Thomas is a priest in this one. I really liked it, don't get me wrong. I read it super fast, it's super short. It was great overall, but I swear to fucking God, this is fucking Peaky Blinders. Like, it's the same fucking plot. I loved it, yes. Same plot. Basically, Thomas gets thrown to the war. Now he's coming back with his new like soldier friends, and he is trying to take back all of his previous businesses because he was the leader of this gangster mob. Basically, he's getting everything back. He's also kind of a spy for the queen. Lo is just like the same. The ending was a little bit underwhelming, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was smart, but like I've seen better things, like smarter things done. Still, I bought the second one, Priest of Lies. I'm really curious to see how the series goes. Like, it was a great experience overall, but it felt like it was mostly like world building to get into the next one. Same as Kings of Paradise. Like, I think that is going to take a turn. Like the 3rd season of Peaky Blinders, I think that it's going to take that turn. I'm sorry, it was great. It was great. I gave it 4 stars. Then I have here another disappointment. So I read The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Hendrix. And again, because I read mostly adult books, I thought this was an adult book, but it is not. Or at least it reads super young, like super young. It felt sometimes even like middle grade, which is weird. It felt to me sometimes like I was reading a Percy Jackson book. I don't know. It was weird. Basically, we follow Susan, and she one day is attacked by goblins and other magical creatures. She is saved by Merlin, who is this amazing left-handed bookseller, meaning that he is basically the violent type of bookseller. They are the warriors, basically. He gets her to the central of the booksellers. She also meets Merlin's sister, who is a right-handed bookseller, who basically they are the investigators, you know, the smart ones. They are divided like that, and they are trying to figure out why the magical creatures, the other world, they call it the other world, attacked Susan. The premise is great. I loved how it sounded, but the overall story was fine. Nothing like incredible. It was just like fun. The thing that I liked the most was really the concept of the booksellers, but it reminded me a lot of the Titan's Curse. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm still pretty underwhelmed by this. I read it I finished it a couple of days ago, and I'm still pretty mad about it. Like, I'm still fairly disappointed. And apparently this is also a standalone. It was fun and fine, I guess. It's just like, I cannot tell you anything else. It's just like, it feels like an adventure story, but that's it. The world building was interesting enough. I will read like more books set in this if it were adult. I don't know if there's a second book coming out about this, like a sequel. I don't know if I will read it, if I'm being honest. I'm sad because this is my first experience with Hendrix, and I have Sabriel, so I really hope that I don't get the same feeling with that one, because I have high hopes for that one too. But yeah, I'm so sad. I was highly anticipating this one. Like, I was highly anticipating this one, but nope. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I'm really sad about this. Like, these last books were, oh damn, where do I put it? Let me tell you a bit about the last one, which is putting me on a slump. Well, it has put me in a slump. I don't know what to read. Like, damn. This is The Doors of Eden by Andrew Tchaikovsky. Adrian Tchaikovsky. What happened here? I don't know. I love Children of Time. Like, I love that book. What? I thought I was going to love this book. Don't get me wrong. I thought that this was going to be 5 stars. I was so confused sometimes reading this book. I felt like a fucking idiot sometimes. I hated the humor. There's tons of humor here that don't belong here because sometimes it's trying to be scary, but other times the one of the main characters is just laughing at a Dr. Rat. In this one we have like the different Earths, you know, multiple realities type of trope. And in one reality, well, rats are the fucking great thing, you know? And she's just laughing at it. And I'm just like, they are supposedly trying to stop the end of the fucking world, but she was just laughing at the fucking Dr. Rat. And I couldn't handle that. I really consider DNF in this many times. Like many times. I don't know if maybe I wasn't in the right mood. I don't think it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this book is bad at all. I like the fact that we had like interludes, and in that interlude we will basically know about a different Earth. That was really cool. But the main plot of the book, pretty meh. Overall, I'm just so disappointed on this one too. Like, I don't know what happened. I blanked so many times I had to get back because I already lost like the plot of the book. I was like, wait, why are we here? Who is this one? Who's here? And I had to get back. I actually restarted the book. I was at 25% and I restarted the book because I was just like, I'm not understanding a fucking thing. So yeah, I think maybe this is one of those cases like, it's not me, it's not you, it's me. Could be. I'm putting this one on the same stack as The Sparrow to read them again in a while and see if it was actually me or if it was the book. I'm going to do that, but for now it's getting a 3-star rating. I'm sad. I was really anticipating them, but it was just like a slap in the face. This month was terrible. But yeah, that's basically all. Have you read any of these books? Can you recommend me a book that I will like, please? I just want to read something fun. I'm super excited to continue with the Cradle series. You have anything to say about any of these books, please? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.